In today's video, I'll be travelling up to the north of the city where I'll be visiting the Museum of the Northern Fleet. Just across the road from the entrance to the Northern Fleet is a large memorial dedicated to all the sailors who lost their life defending the hero city of Murmansk during the Great Patriotic War. The Naval Museum of the Northern Fleet was founded in 1946, right after the Great Patriotic War, and it houses over 65,000 artifacts that tell the story of Russia's most powerful naval force. This elegant neoclassical building is situated in the north of the city, and it is housed in what used to be the officers' barracks of the Northern Fleet. It showcases an era stretching from Peter the Great all the way to the modern day Northern Fleet that we see now.
Нужны для службы якоря и тросы. Нужен нам устав, что помнят все матросы. Нужен флаг, что реет над волною синей. А всего нужнее Родина Россия. И тогда вода нам как земля. И тогда нам экипаж семья. И тогда любой из нас не против хоть всю жизнь служить в военном флоте. И тогда вода нам как земля. И тогда нам экипаж семья. И тогда любой из нас не против хоть всю жизнь служить в военном флоте.
Perhaps the most emotional part of the museum is the section dedicated to the nuclear submarine Kursk K-141. In August 2000, the Kursk sank during an exercise just off the shores, taking all 118 crew members with it. The museum displays personal effects, recovered parts of the vessel, and the moving tribute to the men who lost their lives. It's a heavy moment in the tour, but essential for understanding the risks these submariners face every day in the Arctic and around the world. The memory of the Kursk tragedy sits heavy in the hearts of people in Murmansk and across the wider Russia. In addition to the memorial at the Northern Fleet Museum, there's the main memorial which I showcased in a previous video, which still has the conning tower of the K-141. There's also a memorial in St. Petersburg for the Kursk, but there's also a memorial in or close to the town of WWII, which was the home of the attacked nuclear submarines. But unfortunately, that area is closed off, and you need a special permit to see that memorial. The next section I looked at showcased the defence of the Arctic convoys and of the Murmansk region during the Great Patriotic War. There's also a short video clip of a section where it showcases the assistance that the Allies gave to the Russians in the defence of the Arctic, from the squadrons that were sent in the early 1940s to defend the skies of the Arctic, to the ill-fated PQ-17 convoy. The defence of Murmansk was one of the most critical and gruelling chapters of the Great Patriotic War, or World War II, as we know it in the West. As the Soviet Union's only ice-free northern port with a direct rail link to Moscow, it was the primary gateway for Western Allied aid. For the Nazi High Command, capturing Murmansk, which was nicknamed Operation Silver Fox, was a top priority to choke off Soviet supplies. However, the Arctic front became one of the few places where the German blitzkrieg ground to a complete halt. The Nazi and Finnish forces expected a quick victory, but they were defeated by two things: the terrain and Soviet resilience. Just dozens of kilometers from the city, the German advance was stopped at the Litza River. The landscape of treeless tundra, jagged rocks and swamps made heavy armour useless. The fighting here was so intense it earned the nickname the Valley of Death, which was later renamed by the Soviets to the Valley of Glory. After failing to take the city by land, the Nazis attempted to level it from the air. Murmansk became the second most bombed Soviet city after Stalingrad. In June 1942, a fleet of 35 merchant ships laden with tanks, aircraft and fuel set sail from Iceland for Murmansk. This was Convoy PQ-17. At this time of year, the Arctic sun never sets. Disaster struck on July 4th, fearing that the massive German battleship Tirpitz was moving to intercept. The British Admiralty issued a chilling command: convoy is to scatter. The heavy naval escorts withdrew, leaving the slow-moving merchant vessels to fend for themselves across hundreds of miles of open water. The result was a slaughter. For the next week, German U-boats and Ju-88 bombers picked off the defenceless ships one by one. Men drifted in boats in freezing waters, watching their vital supplies sink into the abyss. Out of the 35 ships that started the journey, only 11 eventually limped into the safety of the Soviet North. But the story of the Arctic convoys isn't just one of loss, it's also one of incredible courage and bravery. Take the crew of the Soviet submarine K-21. In the midst of the PQ-17 disaster, Commander Nikolai Lunin spotted the German battleship Tirpitz, the most feared ship in the Atlantic. Lunin didn't hesitate. He launched a daring torpedo attack against the giant ship. Whether he scored a direct hit remains a debate for historians, but the result was clear. The Tirpitz retreated. It was a moment of pure bravery that showed the Germans the Northern Fleet would never stop fighting for those merchant ships. Moving on from the Museum of the Northern Fleet and the vibrant, bright murals of northern Murmansk, I took a taxi ride across to Abram-Mys. When you arrive at Abram-Mys, you're immediately met with the imposing relics of the Cold War era, the missile complexes S-75, S-125, and also the Su-15TM Soviet supersonic interceptor. Memorials to the fallen defenders of Murmansk and the Arctic during the Great Patriotic War are housed on this observation point, along with a relic from the 1st Soviet Air Defense Corps, perfectly situated to repel enemy aerial attacks from the west. These air defense forces, credited with 727 aircraft kills from Finnish and German attackers.